Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this YouTube video, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, topics, if you want me to give you my topic on, or my take on any topic, by all means, put it in the comment section. If you want to connect with me on other social media outlets, you are welcome to do so. On Facebook, type in Carlos Flores Jr. On Instagram, on X, and on Threads, you can type in at Back on Basics. You see my eyebrows every time I want to accentuate back on Basics. So let's talk about something that I haven't thought about for a long time, which is, well, the topic is about your mind. You know, your supercomputer here. And so the topic for today is, do not believe everything you think about. Why? Because it comes from you. And why am I saying that? Because, again, remember, I've spoken to you about, sometimes if we get in our heads, it's hard to, it's easy to believe things that we come up with because they seem to be the right decisions, because we're using our own life experiences, our own perceptions, our own beliefs, our own ways of looking at the world, but nobody else's. So while we think in our heads that those things are correct, the people around us are telling us. And so again, that's the reason why today's topic is, do not believe everything you think. Because again, remember, we do things, and I've said it, we do things when it's kind of like instant, right? Primal. Remember what we talked about, the fight or flight, right? You either stay and fight, or move forward, or plan, or do something, or you flight, you run, you get away from what you're doing, you move away from what you're doing, you say, I quit, I'm moving on. And so you have to understand that if everything that you think, then your life is going to be skewed. Your life is not going to look the same way as it does if you get your support system. Your support system is very important in your life. Your support system gets you going and moving forward and gets you motivated with compounding effects, right? From small victories to medium-sized victories to large victories until you hit your goals. Remember, it's difficult not to hear yourself because you have that self-talk. Remember, we talked about self-talk. But the thing is, when you're using a self-talk, you have to bring it out of here, right? In here. Remember, right? You have to bring it out of here through here. Because if you hear it, you have to have a critical thinking focus. Because you want to make sure that everything that's coming out of your head, through your mouth, or whatever you're thinking about and you're bringing it out, you have to be thinking critically. You can't be attached to things. You can't say, oh yeah, this is the best thing that I can do. You also have to use your support system. You can't just do it on your own. Because if you're doing it on your own, then you will probably make the same mistakes that you have done before when dealing with similar problems. It's hard to deal with things once they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Remember, the compounding effects works both ways. It moves you forward, or it slows you down, or it stops you, or it starts moving you backward. I mean, again, remember what I said, right? We have this system in our brains that the first thought automatic, more than likely negative. As we process and we think critically, and sometimes, if not all the time, we use our support systems, then we move into a positive phase. Remember, always make decisions in the present moment. Always make decisions in the here and now. Remember, always get your mind, your thoughts out. Don't keep them in here, because if you do, they're going to stay in there, and eventually they're going to get skewed because you're the only one that course corrects them. I mean, it's kind of like in school, right? You don't write an essay and then correct it yourself because you're the one who wrote the essay. You don't see any mistakes. You see that, oh, this is an A paper. But once you give it to a teacher who knows you, right? But hasn't seen the paper or hasn't seen your thought process and looks through, and then instead of getting an A, let's say you get a B minus or you get a C plus. You just got some feedback that's going to make you course correct in this assignment or in a future assignment. And it's the same thing with the activities that you do at work, right? If you get some feedback, course correct. Course correct, right? It's even if you get some negative feedback, get out of your head. And again, don't believe everything that you think, because if you do, then you will not, more than likely, you will not be going in the direction that you want to go to, because you'll be running in circles. Because again, right, you shouldn't be. It's not that you're not, but you shouldn't be an army of one, right? Because if you are an army of one, again, remember, we talked about the way that homeless people talk to themselves, and we have self-talk. Don't get me wrong. I talk to myself all the time. But at some point, I bring it out and talk to other people so that way they can help me course correct. Because if I keep it to myself, then eventually I'm going to start believing more and more and more my inner thoughts. And then it's going to be harder for me to deny that these thoughts are not the best for my decision at this moment, moving forward, getting to my goals, or having life balance. Life balance is great, but life balance means that you are not only assessing yourself, but you're having others assess you as well. And that's your support system. So again, life balance means this is focus and this is focus, right? Life balance means that you're getting things out of your head. Life balance means that you don't believe everything you think. I'm not saying that all the things are wrong. All I'm saying is that use a critical thinking lens or a critical thinking perspective, and then look at the things that you're looking at from a critical perspective. So that way you can say, and then if you feel that you still can't make a decision, you still can't move forward, talk to your support system. Your support system will be able to help you. And believe me, that support system is always there. Even if you haven't connected with your support system in a long time, that support system is going to be there. So, bottom line, and I'm going to say it 3 times. Don't believe everything that you think. Don't believe everything that you think. Why? Because you need outside support. You need to bring your thoughts out of your mind, out of your head. So that way they can be, I'm not saying critiqued, but they can be looked at from a different perspective to give you a way to adapt. So bottom line, don't believe everything that you think. Till next time, back on basics.